All right, let's talk about a huge shift that's completely changing the game for how companies grow. We're moving past the old, clunky, and expensive way of doing things and into a world where your product itself becomes the engine for its own success. So let's break down exactly how that works. For decades, everyone thought about growth as a funnel, right? You'd pour a ton of money into the top, and hopefully a few customers would trickle out the bottom. It was always linear, super leaky, and honestly, really expensive. The new model, though, is a loop. It's circular, which means the output, like a happy user, actually becomes the input for the very next cycle. It's this incredible compounding system that builds on its own momentum. And look, this isn't just some new marketing tactic. It's a completely different philosophy. This quote from Amal Gedmid just nails it. Product-led growth totally flips the script. Instead of trying to convince people to buy something, you just let them experience the product's value first. The product itself is what does the selling. Okay, so let's officially put the funnel to one side for a bit and really get into what makes this new model, the growth loop, so incredibly powerful. The whole idea here is that a growth loop isn't a one-way street. It's a self-sustaining system. Think of it like a snowball rolling downhill. One happy user brings in more users, which helps improve the product, which in turn creates even more happy users. The system just keeps fueling itself. Now, what's really interesting is that this growth engine isn't just one big abstract idea. It's actually powered by three distinct but very interconnected loops that all work together. Let's break these down. First, you have the activation loop. This is where a new user signs up and has that aha moment. They see the value. That great experience then fuels the referral loop, where they're so impressed that they invite their friends or colleagues. And finally, the expansion loop kicks in. As they use the product more, they'd upgrade or add more teammates, which generates revenue. And that revenue? It gets plowed right back into acquiring new users, starting the whole cycle over again, but this time with even more power. But of course, this isn't magic. You can't just set it and forget it. A powerful engine like this needs a really sophisticated dashboard with all the right gauges. You have to measure what actually matters to make sure you're the one steering this thing, not just letting it run wild. And that's the critical question every single business has to ask, right? To know if your loops are spinning the way they should be, you've got to throw out all the old vanity metrics. You need to focus on what truly shows you the health of this engine. The very first goal is so simple. Get your users to that point of value and get them there faster. You have to shrink the time it takes for someone to have that aha moment. The shorter you can make that journey, the more likely they are to stick around. And this leads to a really key shift in how you measure things. We're no longer just counting signups. That's old news. The metric that tells the real story is the Product Qualified Lead, or PQL. These are the users whose actions inside your product are screaming that they're getting real value and are probably ready to upgrade. It's all about tracking behavior, not just filling up a database. And here you can see the financial power of that expansion loop in action. I mean, look at this. For so many successful product-led companies, the majority of new revenue, in this case a whopping 60%, is not coming from chasing down brand new customers. It's coming from your existing happy customers who choose to upgrade. The growth engine is literally paying for itself. Now, an engine this sophisticated doesn't just build or run itself. It needs a very specific kind of leader. Let's call them a growth architect. To design it, connect all the pieces, and keep it fine-tuned. This role, whether you call it a fractional CMO or a growth architect, they think like a systems engineer, not just a marketer. They're mapping out that entire user journey, they're designing the referral programs, connecting all the data points, and building those dashboards we just talked about. Their one job is to make sure the entire machine runs like a well-oiled machine, turning how people use the product into predictable, sustainable growth. Ultimately, this all comes down to one really fundamental question you have to ask yourself. Is your product just a destination that you have to push people to with an expensive, leaky funnel? Or is it the very engine of your growth, creating a self-sustaining loop that just gets stronger and stronger with every single user? Because the answer to that will define the future of your business.